Hello guys, welcome back. This is Modern Man MTG here, and today we're going to be playing a new deck I just built. The ban list just came out today, and I feel like this is going to be one of the most popular lists popping out, and it is Ad Nauseam. So the purpose of this deck is to play Ad Nauseam, which you reveal the top card of your library and put that card in your hand. You lose life equal to its converted mana cost. You may repeat this process any number of times. If you're wanting to cast Ad Nauseam, then resolve a Lightning Storm. Cost a colorless or red. Deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is 3 plus the number of charge counters on it. Discard a land, put 2 charge counters on Lightning Storm. You may choose a new target for it. Any player may activate this ability, but only if Lightning Storm's on the stack. So to help you draw your entire deck and use Lightning Storm, you're playing cards like Angel's Grace, which prevent you from losing the game, and Phyrexian Unlife. Your dig spells are Serum Vision, Sleight of Hand, and Spoils of the Vault. And then let's go ahead and the reason I think this is going to be one of the more popular decks, it's a more consistent deck. It doesn't get affected by the Gitaxian Probe banning. It doesn't have to change major interactions, and it also doesn't get affected by the Troll banning. And for the side deck, I'm playing 2 Ethereal Haze just to draw, just to prevent some damage or anything like that. 1 Leyline, 1 Patreon Scorn for against like the Boggles decks. 2 Echoing Truth, 1 Gut Shot, 2 Wear Tear, 4 Duress, and 2 Painful Truths. So once we start the video, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my banning, my opinion on the bannings and whatnot. So let's go ahead and try to jump into the game here. So the topic on everyone's mind right now, as of January 9th, is the bannings in Modern of Gitaxian Probe and Golgari Grave Troll. So let's start out with Golgari Grave Troll because it's an easier one to talk about in my opinion. So we're going to keep our hand just because we have some deck manipulation. So Golgari Grave Troll, in my opinion, I do not believe it should have even ever came off the ban list. The reason is the Dredge deck is so uninteractive. I hated playing against the deck ever since I got them banned. That's just my opinion. Just so you have a way to stop me. If you don't, okay, I'm going to win the game. Sometimes you're either trying to stop the deck or you're trying to outrace it. And if you're not doing either of those things, you can't beat it. Like a control deck that's being control lead, you can't beat it, for instance. So that one was pretty easy in my head. A lot of people were calling for it. And now Gitaxian Probe. Let's go ahead and take my turn here first. With Temple Deceit, Scry Trigger, Pentab Prism is very good, so I'll go ahead and put it on top. Suspend the Lotus Bloom, pass turn, and now Gitaxian Probe. I understand why it needed to be banned, or it doesn't. I understand why people think it did, and why people think it didn't. I'm in the middle. The reason being, every blue deck that I could afford to play it would play it, minus this deck. But it nerfs Infect. They're going to be playing less Become Immense. It's an indirect nerf. Suicide Blue, I don't think is really going to be a deck anymore. I actually even took it off my roster of decks to play because I just think it's unfeasible to play that deck. Trying to think. It wasn't like overwhelming of a card, but what it did, it was very good at. So, like I said, basically any blue deck that played it's a 56 card deck, and the decks that really took advantage of that card were the unfair decks that I can think of right now, minus like Grixis Delver and the Jeskai Prowess. But yeah, I'm glad it changed it up. Unfortunately, I unloaded mine at $2 a piece before the bannings come. But overall, I'm glad it got banned. Like I said, it'll change the format up. Infect will be a lot weaker. Not a lot weaker, but it'll be different at least. And Channel Fireball, there's an article on Channel Fireball. I can't remember who wrote it, but go ahead and look at it. It's going to be there. It's all over Twitter right now. Talks about how Modern is it's a very hard job to manage Modern for Wizards of the Coast. So by trying to ban the enablers, the cards that are in all of those decks, Gitaxian Probe also it also hits. Can't even think of the name of it right now. Death Shadow aggro. So I think that deck will be toned down a lot as well. But overall, I was a little bummed about the Gitaxian Probe, but I understand why, and I understand why it shouldn't. The biggest argument for people who think it shouldn't have been banned is it didn't really do anything. When they say that, they mean like it didn't really change the board state and things like that. It affected the game obviously, but it didn't like nobody was ever like, man, I just lost the game because my opponent probed me. It would just made the game very vanilla, and a lot of the blue decks were trying to do the same thing. One notable thing that it did hit, in my opinion, deck that it just no longer playable is any of the Pyromancer Ascension decks. Um, that's a that's a side effect of it, but that card is no longer playable in my opinion. So now we're just going to talk about the game we're playing right now. My channel is not really based on those things. I just wanted to bring it up. Golgari Grave Troll, in my opinion, deserved to be banned. While Get Probe, I was in the middle about. I had to change a few of my decks. I had to change my Jeskai aggro deck. I completely deleted the Suicide Blue deck and Grixis Delver. I changed. I added a land. Well, I'll go ahead and next time I play it, I'll point it out to you guys. Remove a counter from Lotus Bloom. Ooh, Lotus Bloom comes into play this turn. That's good for us. Unfortunately, we just have all of these don't win, I don't lose the game abilities and no win the game abilities. So cast Sleight of Hand here. Looking for like an ad nauseam. Another Angel's Grace and a Temple. Take Temple here just because I haven't played my land for the turn. Play Temple. I do want a Pact of Negation. I'll go ahead and remove a counter from the Prism and try to cast a Phyrexian on life here. How I play it now is if it gets countered, it doesn't matter because I have an Angel's Grace in my hand. And the reason I'm not playing my Sleight of Hand here is because I want the Pact, and underneath the Pact, I don't want there to be an ad nauseam. And I can afford to wait another turn. I don't have any pressure on me. I apologize about the beginning of the video. I just wanted to cover my opinion on it. And for standard bannings, I have no idea. I'm not even going to try to talk about those because I have, like I said, literally no idea what's going on in standard. Opponent cracks their Flooded Strand. Grabs a Sacred Foundry. Or tapped. Passes the turn. Opponent passes the turn with Cryptic Mana up. Here we're going to cast Sleight of Hand. I don't really want either of those cards. I guess I'll take a City of Brass. Play City of Brass, pass turn. A thing to remember about this deck is I can go off during my opponent's turn because Lightning Storm's an instant, Angel's Grace is an instant, and so is Ad Nauseam. I've had an idea about a series on my channel. Tell me if you guys like it or not. In the background, it'll be like a commander game, a four-way commander game or a one-on-one. I haven't decided yet. And the overlay of me talking would be talking about things happening in the Magic scene, tweets I find, or anything like that, bannings, decks, things like that. Just let me know down below if you guys would like that. Probably about a 40 to 50-minute video. See if you guys would be interested in that. Draw another Pentad Prism. Blue, white. Go ahead and play the Pentad Prism. So basically here we have infinite mana. So we're basically just waiting to draw a ad nauseam. I mean, we've seen 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cards, and we still haven't seen a ad nauseam. Opponent's just flashing into Torrential Gearhawk. It's fine. The Get Pro banning does make sense when you compare it to like the Ponders and the Preordains. If I remember correctly, the reason they wanted to ban those, they didn't want every blue deck to look the same. And Preordain, or not Preordain, Gitaxian Probe falls into the same category. Sure. Okay. Temple of Enlightenment, another land, Sleight of Hand, sure. It's better to look at 2 random cards there instead of 1. Is the reason I kept that on top. My opponent also might be thinking that I'm just going to try to win at the end during their turn. Still a possibility. I'm going to cast Snapcaster. Sure, it's fine. Just really trying to put the pressure on me, which you have to do really against this deck. Opponent's casting another Snapcaster with nothing to flash back. Passes the turn. Finally takes with a return. And my opponent fires up their Celestial Colonnade. I go to -1, which doesn't really matter with Phyrexian Unlife though, because ad nauseam to loss of life, so I don't take damage off my ad nauseam still. Go to -1. Draw the Sleight of Hand, play Sleight of Hand. Still looking for an ad nauseam. There it is. So let's remove a counter from Pentab Prism, add a black, tap both my temples for black, tap this temple for a white. And let's go ahead and remove another counter from the Pentab Prism to cast Ad Nauseam here. And the thing is, I can pay for, if they remand it, I can just recast the Ad Nauseam because I have 6 mana up with Lotus Bloom, Pentab Prism, and 2 City of Brass. It resolves. My opponent let it resolve. So we're just going to draw our entire deck here. So here that I have, since I have so much mana, I think I'm going to try for the Laboratory Maniac win. Because if they counter that and my Pact of Navigation, I can still play the Lightning Storm because I have my 4 Spirit Guides still. So let's go ahead and sack the Lotus Bloom for 3 blue. Cast Laboratory Maniac. Resolves. Remove a counter from the Pentad Prism. Add blue. Looking for a Serum Visions here. There it is. Let's cast Serum Visions. Opponent paths the Laboratory Maniac. I didn't think about that one, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pact here. Pact the path. Try to get my opponent to use all their mana. And yes, my opponent scoops it up. So we're going to go ahead and go to game 2 here against Jeskai Control. I probably want Duresses against them. Where'd my fourth Duress go? Oh, there it is. Jeskai Control. Duresses are fine. Echoing Truth's an option here, just for the fact that they have ley lines on their board. Here I'm probably cutting the Slaughter Pact because they're a slow deck, so I have all the time in the world. Probably don't need Spoils of the Vault for the same reason. I can shave a Phyrexian on life. You never want to cut your win conditions because you only have one, and if one of them get removed out of your deck somehow, you don't have a way to win the game, especially playing as few as we are. So you definitely always want to keep those in. So, I'll go ahead and just bring in 1 Echoing Truth and 3 Duress, and we'll run it back like this. So guys, as of recording this video on the 9th, we had 10 subscribers. I woke up this morning seeing that. Once again, it made my day, guys. It literally made my day. Yeah, and that's all I really got to say about it. I mean, we just keep growing and growing, guys, and I appreciate every second of it, man. Every second, every day, we keep growing and growing. We're going to keep getting better and better. Yeah, tell me down below what you got, what my your guys' favorite deck you've seen me play so far is. My favorite deck is personally the Battle of Wits deck that I've been playing, but it doesn't get very many views right now. As of recording this video, it had like 5, so I might not do that deck as much. That's the same reason I didn't do a whole separate video talking about the bannings in Modern, because when I talked about my spoilers, when I did a non-gameplay video, it didn't get very many views, and it took a while. So I'm just not really interested in doing that. If you guys aren't are wanting to watch it, that is. And here we have some redundancy and not losing the game abilities in Phyrexian Life and Angel's Race. We have 2 deck manipulation and Temple and Serum Visions, and 1 mana Excel and the Spear Guide. So I think I'll go ahead and try it here. Opponent does not have Leyline on turn 1, that is. Opponent grabs a Hollowed Fountain, untapped, probably casting Serum Visions. Draw another Temple. So I'll probably lead on Temple of Enlightenment, I guess. I don't think you're really here. Island's not what we want, so I'll go ahead and push that to the bottom. Pass turn. Opponent plays their own island. Passes the turn. I do not want to concede the game. So here what we're going to do is we're going to play our Temple of Deceit first. Just in case we push it to the bottom, we don't really want to draw it with Serum Visions. Good thing we did, because I don't really want another land right now. Go and play Serum Visions, draw a card. Drew another Angel's Grace, which is not really what we're looking for. Put the Pentad Prism on the bottom, put the rest on top, and pass the turn. Opponent probably casting a Think Twice, which they are. Opponent plays Scalding Tarn, passes the turn. So we're going to play an Island and cast Pentad Prism for 2. This deck can be clunky at times. That's why I think if the format's going to slow down with the banning of Golgari Grave Troll and um, Gitaxian Probe, this deck will be a lot better positioned. Opponent's going to mana leak the Prism. That's fine. It's not really what we're trying to do right now. Opponent cracks their Scalding Tarn, gets a Steam Vents tapped. I don't want to play this Duress until I think I'm going to go off the turn, the following turn, or that turn. Play City of Brass, cast Phyrexian Unlife. We don't mind if our opponent counters this here, because then we have an Angel's Grace. Right now, what we're really looking for is an ad nauseam, as always. So the opponent plays Cryptic Command, counters of the countering and Phyrexian Unlife and drawing card. That's fine. I had an earlier version of this deck put together playing Mystical Teachings. At 5-0 to competitive league, so I was like, I'll try it out. It's a little clunky, I'm not gonna lie. So I ended up just playing the Spoils of the Vault version. Opponent plays Colonnade, passes the turn. We're gonna draw a Lotus Bloom. We'll go ahead and suspend that. There's no reason to keep it in the hand. Pass turn. The thing about this deck is you really can't lose out of nowhere because you have like Angel's Grace to keep you from doing that. Something to note though is if you Angel's Grace is a fog against Infect, you still die during your upkeep because you die to infect damage, and that only keeps you from dying to damage. Draw a Lightning Storm, which is another card we still didn't need. Go ahead and pass the turn here. These draws are getting pretty horrendous. My opponent's apparently debating casting their Gearhulk here and firing or recasting a Cryptic Command, which is kind of cool because they can draw a card and then return their Gearhulk to their hand. Seems like, or they're going to fire up a Lightning Bolt. I like the Cryptic Command. Oh, they're going to Rev. Okay, Rev's fine too. I completely forgot about that card being in Modern. Opponent plays another Flooded Strand, cracks their Flooded Strand, gets an island, casts Serum Visions. I'm actually surprised my opponent hasn't started firing up their Celestial Colonnade to put pressure on me. Because as long as they're not pressuring me, it gives me more time to draw spells that I need. For instance, this Lotus Bloom comes off Suspend next turn. Draw a Pact. That's a good draw too. Because now we can, if we draw the Ad Nauseam, we can have our Pact back up. Opponent's going to fire back a Lightning Bolt or a Cryptic Command. I guess the opponent might be Cryptic Commanding their own Snapcaster instead of using it on their Gearhulk. It's the same mana, really. I mean, they both cost 6 to do. Oh, they're going to return my Temple, actually. That's fine. It's a little annoying, but fine. We really needed all of the cards. Well, since we got a Lotus Bloom coming off next turn, we don't need a Spirit Guide. Opponent plays Scalding Tarn, passes the turn. I'm assuming my opponent just has infinite counter spells in their hand. Cast the Lotus Bloom. Opponent might use a counter spell on it here, so I think I'm fine with that. Opponent cryptic commands, countering and returning my temple. Now that's kind of obnoxious. Yeah, that's fine. Another cryptic command. Drew another Lotus Bloom. So we'll go ahead and play Temple Deceit. Put Duress on bottom. We already have a Duress. Suspend a Lotus Bloom. Pass turn. Opponent's probably going to flash in a snap and lightning bolt me. It's fine. Opponent fetches for a Sacred Foundry tapped. Opponent plays another Scalding Tarn. Cracks the Scalding Tarn. Gets an island. Opponent's casting or animating a Celestial Colonnade. Gonna put me to 4. I can't win this turn, unfortunately. Maybe next turn I can win. Depends on what I draw. If I draw an Ad Nauseam or not. Drew a Pentad Prism. Run a Temple here. See if the Ad Nauseam is on top. It is not. Go ahead and put that to the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and fire off Duress here. Cast Duress targeting the opponent. Actually should have Duressed off the Temple of Deceit. It's a bit of a misplay. Opponent Logic Knots are Duress. That's fine. That generally means they don't have another counter spell in their hand if they're going to counter your Duress. Oh, and I misplayed the Pentad Prism too. That's unfortunate. That's fine. The punts are real this game. Go ahead and cast Angel's Grace here. This should be on 2. So if I draw the Ad Nauseam, I'm not going to be very happy. Don't know what the opponent's doing here. They can't respond to it. It has split second. Opponent passes the turn. Or no, maybe not passes. Passes the turn. Take a counter off the Lotus Bloom. Opponent's probably got another Cryptic Command to bounce a land. Opponent's going to Helix me. 4. I'll go ahead and pack the Helix here because I can go off during my upkeep with the trigger on the stack. Opponent's going to Snapcaster here. That's fine. Snapcaster's fine. He's going to snap a Cryptic. He's going to return the Temple of Deceit to my hand. It's unfortunate. Doesn't matter, though. Was I drawing ad nauseam? I was not drawing ad nauseam anyways, so didn't really matter. It's just a little annoying. Everybody has their misplays. So here we bring in another duress. I think we cut the Echoing Truth. I didn't really see any ley lines out of the opponent. Debating bringing Spoils of the Vault. No. Yeah, let's go ahead and shave another Phyrexian on life and bring in a Spoils of the Vault. Just because I think Phyrexian on life is massively worse against them because they can just Cryptic bounce it if I'm going off. I'd like to play first. If I draw an ad nauseam, this hand's good. So go ahead and keep it. So here I think we're going to lead with Hollowed Fountain. Because I want to play this live hand. The reason the Dreadship Reef's in here is, for instance, last game, when you get into these slow, grindy games. Actually, I'm going to play the Temple on one, I think. It's probably always the right play. Opponent kept 6. Something I dislike is they don't automatically put the chat window over here anymore. So a lot of times I'll forget about it. They put a card on bottom. So we'll go ahead and play our Temple here. Pentad Prism is very good, so I'll go ahead and put that on top. Sorry about that. I got an email. Or no, that's a live YouTube notification. On a Crackster Flooded Strand. Grabs a Steam Vents. Untapped. Cast Serum Visions. Next turn, we're going to play Hollowed Fountain into Pentad Prism. And hopefully put 2 counters on it this time. Opponent top-bottomed. They're with their Serum Visions. Play Hollowed Fountain untapped. Cast Pentad Prism. White. Blue. Pass turn. Opponent cast another Serum Visions. Or it seems like my opponent's looking for a land here. Just something to note for later. Card bottomed. Tapped Sacred Foundry. Passes the turn. Draw another Sleive Hand. We'll cast Sleive Hand here. Off our Temple of Deceit because we want white for our Phyrexian on life. Angel's Grace or a Temple? Temple represents another mana. We can't play it this turn if we want to play our Phyrexian on life this turn. But it's better if we're Sleive Handing if we take the Temple. I think I'd rather just have the Angel's Grace. Just so it doesn't get bounced. It's just another reoccursion spell, really. Play the Dreadship Reef. Move a counter for white. Go ahead and cast our Phyrexian on life here. That way we know it resolves. And we have double Simian Spirit Guide too. So we can cast an ad nauseam if we draw it. Um, hmm. Go ahead and play the Temple of Deceit. Put it on bottom. Cast Sleight of Hand. Take another Sleight of Hand. What I'm doing here is I'm considering if I rather just put a counter on the Reef. I don't think that's the right play, so I'm going to play another Sleight of Hand. Take Ad Nauseam. Could have took the fourth Sleight of Hand if I wanted to there. Now we have Angel's Grace backup for the Ad Nauseam. If they Cryptic. Well, if they Cryptic, they're probably countering the Ad Nauseam. Opponent's going to 2 damage to me. Put me down to 16. Opponent plays Sulphur Falls. So what we do here is we might keep up Ad Nauseam to go off when my opponent taps their mana. Because I don't want my Ad Nauseam to be countered. We don't really have any counter backup right now. Which I think what we're going to end up doing. Just going to play the waiting game, essentially. Opponent's casting a Think Twice. Do we move in on it here? I don't think so. Because I don't want to get mana leaked either, and we know our opponent has mana leak. Opponent plays Glacial Fortress. Passes the turn. Go ahead and put a charge counter on Dreadship Reef. Well, here's how we're going to find out if the coast is clear. Go ahead and duress the opponent. And my opponent decides to, oh, they have Mana Leak and Dispel and Snapcaster Mage. Huh. Interesting. If we put Dispel in the graveyard, it's better with Snapcaster. But Mana Leak's a better card. So what I'm thinking here is my opponent flashes back their Think Twice. They have 2 mana up. They can cast Mana Leak, and then I have 1 extra mana. It doesn't really do it. I'll go ahead and give them the discard the Dispel. No, we'll discard the Mana Leak here. That might have been wrong. I don't know if there was a right decision there, to be honest with you. Flashing back there. Think twice here. If they want to go ahead and Lightning Helix me, they can. They didn't tap their mana correctly if they wanted to do that. Opponent's got to start putting pressure on me, so as soon as they start to make the move, putting pressure on me, I'll probably Ad Nauseam. Opponent drew the Sulphur Falls, I think. I guess I can go over here and check. Yeah, they drew a Sulphur Falls. So you're going to put another counter on the Dreadship Reef. Draw a Watery Grave. We'll go ahead and play it untapped. Pass the turn. So the reason I let him keep the Dispel over the Mana Leak, it's less mana efficient. Having to snap back a Mana Leak opposed to snapping back a Dispel. So that's how I made my decision. Going to put another counter on the Dreadship Reef. My opponent might time out, fortunately for them. So, I mean, another Ad Nauseam here would be fantastic. Stopping drawing Simian Spirit Guides would be nice. Because now I wish I would have given them the Mana Leak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 mana. Really going to Gearhulk me here? Fine. Going to Electrolyze me. Put me to 12. Put me on a 3-turn clock, or 5-turn clock with Phyrexian Unlife. At any point I ever draw another Ad Nauseam, this hand is very okay. I'd like to mention this is like my 4th time playing the deck. Not to make an excuse, Stony Silence, my Pentad Prism. Tapped out a white, put a counter on the Reef. That's fine. You got me, coach. Sure. I'm looking to draw really is like a Pact or another Ad Nauseam. Or a Duress. Duress is fine. Duress the opponent here. So we know they have Plains. Oh, well, there it is. They can snap back a Dispel. I'll take the Dispel here. And so they have Island Plains, Helix, Snap. So if they Lightning Helix me, flash back to Lightning Helix with a Snap, I can kill them. It seems all right. The reason they would do that is because there is no reason to do that. Oh boy. So what I might start doing here is just playing my Angel Graces. Or at least one of them here. Opponent drew a Scalding Tarn, played it. It's fine. Go ahead and play an Angel's Grace. Prevents 5 damage. Gives me another 2 turns, I think. Charge up Dreadship Reef. Pass the turn. Draw another Angel's Grace. So we're just going to have infinite turns because of Angel's Grace. Seems all right. When it cracks their Scalding Tarn, that's fine. It's a Hollow Fountain tapped. Plays an island. So they have a mystery card in their hand now. Go ahead and fire off another Angel's Grace here. Put a counter on the Reef. Pass turn. Draw City of Brass. Also not really what we're looking for. Really want my opponent just to play their Snapcaster. That would be nice. I'm considering trying to get another turn with casting this Angel's Grace here, which I think I'm going to do. The reason I think I'm going to do it is if I take it, I go to -4, but Helix and Snap Helix deal Infect them, and I can't really respond to that trigger during my upkeep. Because I still know 3 out of the 4 cards in my opponent's hand. Opponent might time out before this game ends, unfortunately. My opponent's probably sitting here trying to decide what they need to do. Go ahead and put another counter on the Dreadship Reef. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're at the point if I draw another ad nauseam, I could turn target permanent to its owner's hand, draw a card. So we're going to have Snap Cryptic up. That's unfortunate. I don't know if that actually matters, though. Doesn't really change which cards we're looking for. It's fine. Really looking for like a Pact here. Not really a Lotus Bloom. Play the Reef. Suspend a Lotus Bloom. Doesn't matter because my opponent has a Stony Silence. Pass turn. I want my opponent to try to get greedy and snap back their Cryptic to bounce the Phyrexian on life. Because then in response, I'm going to ad nauseam. Opponent's going to Vendilion Click. I have to let it resolve because if I don't let it have ad nauseam response, my opponent snaps the Dispel. And dispels my ad nauseam. And then has Lightning Helix up to put me at. Or what they could do, they could snap the Cryptic, bounce the Unlife, which also kills me. So I have to let it resolve here. It's fine. You see I have Triple Spirit Guide, ad nauseam in hand. Opponent gets rid of the ad nauseam. Attacks for 5, puts me down to -4. Opponent plays their planes finally. Passes turn. Lotus Bloom doesn't matter. Drew the Pact. So this has to draw me an ad nauseam here. Drawing me an ad nauseam for next turn. It's close, I guess. Oh, wait. Nope, it's drawing me an ad nauseam for this turn. As it turns out. I would love to draw another Pact of Negation. So we're going to cast our Ad Nauseam here. So black, colorless, black, 1, 2. Cast Ad Nauseam. Opponent's got a Snapcaster. Snap resolves. I'm going to counter the spell they get off of it. Target's Cryptic Command. Sure. Opponent's going to time out before they actually can beat me. They don't hurry up. Opponent caster, Cryptic Command, countering my spell, countering my Ad Nauseam, and drawing a card. I'm surprised they're not trying to bounce my Unlife here. This makes me suspicious. I'll go ahead and pack the Cryptic. Hopefully they have like a remand. Pact resolves. Ad Nauseam resolves. And I'm going to draw my deck again. Okay, so I have 2 Spirit Guides left, and I get to play a land. I'm going to play a City of Brass, so that gives me 4 mana. I know they have a Helix in their hand, an X. So that means I'm going to try to kill them with the Exile for a red, tap for red, tap for red. With the, where's it at? The Lightning Storm here. Activate its ability, discard a swamp. Activate its ability, discard a temple. Activate its ability, discard another temple. Activate its ability, discard a polluted delta. Activate its ability, discard an island. Activate its ability, discard another temple. 18, and what does the opponent got? Opponent's going to make me kill him. I respect that. Activate Lightning Storm's ability again. Activate it again. Activate it again. So that's what, 3 plus, that's 21. It's fine. And guys, I think I did it. I appreciate you guys sitting through the little spiel I had earlier about the ban list. If you guys want to hear a more in-depth version of it, let me know down below. Yeah, I mean, with this deck, you always just never scoop with this deck unless you know you're stone dead. There were very many instances there where I thought I was dead, but I really wasn't. I just kept playing it out, and it looks like I got it, guys. Once again, guys, I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. keeps me going every day. And comment down below any suggestions you have. And I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.